Welcome to this week's Show Me the Money podcast with my usual guests, Craig and Doug. Going to wind up Craig a bit more, I'm guessing, on the season finale. And obviously, we won't talk much about my game, but we'll go through the rest of them. And we'll start with the North, obviously. So you're both here.
Well, I think you have to start with the North in this one, don't you, Johnny? So, what can I say? Pumped.
Pumped by 4 points. It's not that bad, like.
You want to take it away, Mr. Baxter?
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, Roman Stevenson didn't do anything, so I'm quite glad that he wasn't important. I think it boiled down to the fact that you didn't play my keeper, Najee Harris, for sake of
I know.
like you deliberated over pitch. If you'd played him, I think you'd have beaten me.
I
But
did
you know
deliberate.
that would only have been too obvious.
I
told you.
deliberated.
I said play him. Beat me with my keeper.
Long and hard did I
So
deliberate.
yeah,
over
it was.
Barkley out. But you know,
It was a scrappy week, to be honest.
it was. That's the thing. It was a scrappy
My
week.
Chiefs
wasn't
got
it?
me over the line.
And
Yeah.
Did you have
that,
no player?
We,
Did you have a player
you know,
missing? Doug?
yeah, your Chiefs
Did
got
you
you
say again,
over the
sorry,
line.
Johnny.
Did you have a
Oh
player
yeah,
missing?
absolutely. Pat
Just to rub it
Mahomes.
in.
Pat Mahomes has been. Well, I took Stevenson out on Monday Night Football just in case he like fumbled it 3 times, etc. I thought, being smart. So yeah. But yeah, Chiefs, I must mark greatly for Patrick Mahomes. He has made the difference.
Well, I will give you a hearty congratulations for winning the division. Well done.
Craig's just
Thanks
happy
very
with you,
much,
I think.
Craig.
That hurt, but there you go. It's out there. Can't say it's not out there. But yeah, not playing Najee. I did actually hum. I genuinely hummed and hawed because Barkley was hurt and there was genuine 50-50 making it and not making it. And I was so close to putting Najee in instead of Barkley. Yeah. But he made it, and I thought, if I take Barkley out, I took him out against the Packers, and look what happened. So I thought, I'm not making that mistake.
Yeah, no, I took him out in auction league. It didn't matter there, but yeah, the Washington Skins or the Commanders. Defense is pretty all right against the run. So it's nice to win the division. Obviously, the wider implication of our head-to-head when it was relevant is maybe the bigger thing. It has put me in what I think is a trickier position for the first round of the playoffs. But I guess to win it, you've got to beat them. It's there's no gimmies. So the factory it is.
Yeah, you're in the playoffs, and the playoffs are the playoffs. It really doesn't matter who you play at that point, as you say, because anything can happen. The big players can have bad weeks, and the wee players can have good weeks. And you're in the playoffs now, and as you say, it's the factory. The factory are up next, and they hit the turn this week.
Yeah,
it's. I think the bench went quite well as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean it's on paper. Sean's got the deeper roster at the minute. If he picks the right starting roster, the right starting unit, he should win, I think. But he might get that wrong. I've got a bit of a dilemma over Jalen Waddle, who's not quite in form. Buffalo could be a snow game as well, seemingly.
It's looking like it's going to snow.
So what do I do? Ramondre Stevenson, I think, actually might be out this week, which
it's looking like
we'll have to play him. So I can't risk. I don't think
you never know.
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams.
I don't know. It's. I know, but it's. Do you really drop Waddle for him?
Well, that's the question.
I don't know that I do.
You've got Lazard sitting there too, but it's that's Watson's. That's Watson's receiver.
It's Lazard. Yeah, I mean it's Lazard, so that it's not exactly ideal, I have to say. ETN's not playing that well at the minute. He's going in against Dallas, so that's not exactly handy. So I'm going to basically again, it's my Chiefs at Houston. I need them to basically somehow go mad. I need Houston to stay in the game, and I need it to somehow be some sort of
just getting the ball,
high scoring monster.
Yeah, you're looking for
yeah,
a 64,
no, absolutely, and
I'll
yeah, I'll play Peoples Jones, I think, because he is.
I'd probably play him over Waddle actually, because he's scoring every week.
Well,
he's targets and he's catching the ball.
That's my dilemma, but it's what you then do with the flex spot if Stevenson's injured, which I think is looking likely. I don't even think I'm saying this while someone goes and snaps him up, but I don't know if any of Stevenson's understudies are available.
I think I got Pierce. I think I got Strong in the waivers. I think.
Yeah, Strong.
Yeah,
I've
already got Harris if he plays. So.
But
I've got Harris if he plays. I've got Strong. So. But the other boys played well.
That's that gubbed.
I can see that Sean's made a few moves already.
Has he?
Sean's made his changes already.
What's he been up to?
First draft. So obviously he's put Fields back in. He's got Henry, he's got Jones, he's got Lamb, he's got Chase, he's got Freemuth, and he's got Cooper. So he's leaving on the bench. Currently, he's leaving on the bench Walker, who looks like he might be playing. In fact, that's tonight, isn't it? Purdy,
big match tonight.
And Williams are all on his bench.
On the bench.
It's probably the best way to go for him, to be fair.
Yeah, probably. Personally, I would probably risk Dobbins over Amari Cooper, but
I would be more looking at. I would more look at Walker over Amari Cooper because Walker's he's got no injury designation, so he's going into it clean. I mean, I know it's the Niners and all that, but they've got to do so.
But it's a Niners. It's the Niners D. It's the Niners D, Craig. I don't know how. Well, tonight's a tough match for the Niners. Seattle's a problem place for them to go in general.
Yeah, it's a bogey.
We'll a loud crowd anyway.
A wee bit. Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting semi-final, that's for sure. And as for me, I've got to go and play. Oh, let's move. Yeah, we'll talk about them later. Actually, let's move on to the South now, Johnny.
Well, we're doing the scores first, then we'll go on to the playoffs. So
the playoffs, yeah.
We're already, so we'll do the South next with the last week results.
Well, it's kind of we can do that. We can do both for a couple of them here actually, because in the South we've got Bluetown Patriots beating the Kirkwall Raiders to play the Kirkwall Raiders in the playoffs. So this is an interesting scenario for me.
I know that's a bit of a mental one.
You see coming up time and time again, though, and the best team, the best team on paper wins in the regular season, the last game, then they run into the other team in the playoffs, and the other team finds a way. Can it happen this time?
So,
well, Alan's going to have McLaren back. So that'll help.
There's a lot needs to go. There's a lot needs to go in Alan's favour. Principally, he needs Cordarrelle and Rashad White to do something better than expected. But even looking at Chris's matchups for his players, it's not just the players; they've actually got good matchups.
Yeah, they do. Well,
Jalen.
Oh, doesn't matter. Sorry.
Doesn't matter, Craig. So he's got Hurts at Chicago. I mean, Hurts is scoring points every week. Dalvin Cook, who's not on form, but it's the Colts. Pollard's at Jacksonville. He'll get points there. Metcalf at the Niners. Okay, that's a wee bit trickier. Justin Jefferson. Well, he's going to score points in the Colts. Cole Kmet. The tight end situation's a mess. And then Jonathan Taylor at the Vikings. It's not a gimme that, but it's Taylor.
It's a gimme. The Vikings are awful.
Now,
team in history.
Interestingly, I just wonder if this was PPR. I think Alan would be in a slightly different boat. I think he'd be looking a wee bit better in PPR format.
Yeah, but the
but
receivers.
it's not. Yeah. But Garrett Wilson.
Well, he's got his team set anyway.
Ayuk's number one receiver now. McLaurin can score on the Giants. You never know.
Can score on the Rams.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be lovely. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind
The
seeing
projection is closer than last week's anyway.
right
There's only
there'll be a certain je ne sais quoi about it.
I don't mean that. I don't mean this any disparaging way to Chris at all. But come on, Kirkwall.
But
yeah, we're all Kirkwall fans.
I'm sure he's loving that
well,
one. Right?
Yeah, having said that, Craig, I don't need you in the final either, right enough.
Well, that's exactly where it's a bit. I'd rather play Kirkwall's team on paper than I would Bluetoon. So we'll take that.
Oh, absolutely.
And typical Graham always nicking that wee last one. He just can't have a losing record, that boy, honestly. He just refuses.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Here he goes again to get 7-7, the only non-losing record not to make the playoffs. That's a small violin, Graham.
That must be frustrating, eh? It must be so frustrating being Graham.
It's certainly
funny. Is that why you're all laughing so much? Like,
he's finished the season
bad.
off well, and it's certainly nailed on. It's nailed on the bottom seed in the consolation prize. Unfortunately for him, that's Johnny. But yeah, I mean, 70 points. It's nothing to write home about, but it's more than enough to get the win. And
so basically. Every week, I think I said this on the pod before, but he the last 3 weeks he's been like 74, 74, 83. You know, it's consistency, but not quite playoff consistency.
Not over the top, yeah. I mean, he's got Elliott, Eckler, and Williams. Those three alone in the consolation, in the toilet bowl. You know, those three alone must do okay. See him okay.
So amazing that Mike White's still alive after last week's game.
I'll be assuming boys are back in town. Will be shopping for a new defense this week. -4 for the Titans. That's got to hurt. But outside of that, you know, it's Ross has got some players there as well as he heads into the consolation. You know, those you can't rule them out.
Yeah.
He's going along okay. But I mean,
we'll find out who he's got in a minute. But
it's consolation bowl.
Yeah, the boobies.
It's consolation bowl for there. He's got the boobies. But yeah, if we move on into the south now, is it the south now we're in? I don't know. Sorry, the west.
Yeah.
Oh no, the east. Sorry, the east. And again, another one. Tartan Bears beat the Farts Flying Eagles in the last game of the season. Was it to take the division or was it not?
No, it was to take the division.
Well, he already had the head-to-head, so
it took the division.
Won the division.
Congratulations, Joe, on winning the East. And it's certainly, but this is one that maybe could turn around this week. You know,
this is a matchup against each other again, is it not? Yeah.
Yep, they play each other again.
This coin toss, absolute coin toss.
Yeah, actually, hang on a minute. I just remembered that I would play the winner of this game as opposed to the last. Oh no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. It's, I do play. This is you'd play the winner of this one, Doug, in the semi. Should you both get there? Get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's two good teams. It's. I mean, for me personally, on paper, I much prefer Farts lineup.
It's looking pretty close.
But it's certainly very close, and there's a gaping wound at quarterback, isn't there now?
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, because
I prefer Joe's. I prefer Joe's. Yeah, that's Graham's problem. He's got Matt Wright. Well, he's got Tyler Huntley. Could maybe go with him. Yeah, he's got T. Higgins.
He might put him in because I think they'll just say today he was playing. So Higgins is day to day, but he's been practicing.
Yeah, so
you'll have Goddard next week. I can't imagine he'll do much
this
week. He'll be back in next week, definitely.
Yeah, you put Higgins probably.
If Higgins playing, you'll play Higgins.
To be honest with you, I think
he's
he's the right quarterback here. I think he's done that. He's actually starting at the moment. He's starting Matt Ryan at quarterback away to the Vikings. Now that's indoors, so you don't need to worry about weather there. And the Vikings D's awful. I do not think that's a silly move from
Matt Ryan.
I do not think
Ryan has not scored in weeks.
I brought him in for a week and he done okay for me. That's all.
He's off a bye though.
But playing in
he's off a bye, so that helps. But
it's he's played in Minnesota too. That's a bad defense. I don't think that's a bad move, as opposed to Huntley against the Browns defense, which is pretty decent. But
Joe's biggest problem is Alvin Kamara's just stalled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's done nothing for about 4 weeks now.
And Fournette's not exactly setting the head.
Yeah, and Atlanta, I don't. No, Rashad White's getting half the touches there, is he not?
Yeah, that's. I mean, that Joe's problem is
well.
running backs. Joe's problem is his running backs because he's absolutely solid everywhere else. Burrow, St. Brown, Hill, Ingram, Davies.
It will be.
It's
well, Ingram went off one last week with 144 yards and 2 touchdowns or something.
But yeah, this game was certainly a surprise. It was certainly a surprise score for me, this one. It was more of a surprise that neither of them topped the ton, I've got to say, than anything else. But it's it'll be interesting.
No, the next one's a surprise, the next score.
Well, the next score's a brilliant score, isn't it? Hey, Ray! 131 points.
What a score.
Nowhere.
Well, McCaffrey and Goff again. But
well, that's him putting his stamp on the consolations and saying, I'm in these consolations to win them. I want the number 1 seed. And you know,
look at that. You got Shark had that big touchdown and Hawkinson. He got a fumble.
And he's got
Patriots defense 20 points.
Yeah, that was huge. But I bet certainly the game was won long before the Patriots took the field.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
it's help.
Yeah, and I mean,
he's
Mark's lack of running backs just, you know.
Well, yeah, he had to leave a bye.
He's got no back. He's got back.
2 buys.
No backs. He's
2 buys. Nothing of Robinson.
Mark's actually done very well to get 72.42 points, I've got to say. Where did they all come from? Oh, he's got Lawrence ripped that up.
Trevor
39 points of Lawrence.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen every week, though. You know, Mark's. I'm not so sure. I'd be wanting to play Mark in the consolations. That's for sure. Sorry, Mark.
Big time. I think Mark
looks nearly
gubbed.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair to him,
that's only because of Kirk Cousins.
He's rolled up a lot.
Because I gave him such back.
Yeah, 26 points for Cousins. Yeah.
26. Yeah, it's very much for me. Batman's booby's going to be going into the consolations, bouncing, and Mark's going to be going into the consolations, kind of just wanting the season to be over. Looking forward to all those early picks he's got next year.
Exactly. Rip it up, start again. That was how we got the Mahomes deal done. You know, he's ready to roll on that front.
Yeah, and he won a watch with the Evans.
Although the thing is, I did say to Mark that Mahomes would be back in the pot and he could just pick him next season. But I'm starting to come round to the kind of maybe I might keep him, sort of him and Big Trav. You know.
Well,
it worked for Mark for years, so why not?
It worked for Mark for a few years, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the running back's so messy now that can you trust any of them?
No. Well, look at you just need to look at Taylor this year. I mean, everyone's scrambling after Taylor, and he didn't have a bad season. He had some good weeks. He's but he's not knocked out of the park. I mean, what is Jacobs not the leading running back this year?
Yeah, and he no one was wanting to touch him in drafts.
Yes, now, yeah.
You know, I know you did, Craig, but no, I know, but you know what I mean. He wasn't exactly going first pick.
playing for a contract, and I fancied him this year because I knew it was he's playing for his contract. Raiders have refused his 5th-year option, so he's out to prove a point. So
yeah, there's a lot in that. Where did you get him? Did you get him in the second round or the third round?
When did I take him? I don't know because I took Mixon first.
Yeah.
And then I took someone else before him. I think it must have been the 3rd round. I think it was my 3rd round pick, maybe even 4th. No, it couldn't have been that late.
No, I would have picked him in the 4th.
Then him. Mixon, then Barkley, then him.
Yeah. You got Saquon. I mean, blinking egg. Mixon, Saquon, and Jacobs, and
I still lost the division, eh? Anyway, back to where we let's get back into the last. I mean, you've got to talk about it. Was it a winning record?
We don't really have to talk about it, actually.
No, a 7-7.
Yeah,
7-7.
So basically, that defeat by me from Sean, basically, when I beat Michael last week, that basically cost him. He probably would have been head-to-head maybe against Sean.
He would have, yes. So you won the division
for by Sean, that. It'd be one each. Yeah.
I would like to think there's some sort of there's a couple of bottles of beer winging their way to Orkney right now because Sean does run a brewery now. I don't know if you know that, but Sean's a brewer. He brews his own beer in that.
Oh.
So
no much point in sending beer to me, Craig. I don't drink, remember.
Well, that's a fair point. Yeah, just send them to me,
we
Sean.
Keep them on the shelf when you come up.
I'll send them on behalf of But yeah, so Eskimo Brothers got absolutely spanked on their way into the playoffs. But I mean, it's the playoffs. Anything can. Do you know the biggest thing for Sean? It's not losing this game. He won the division. It's losing Samuel.
Craig, you are going to absolutely pump him.
You might be missing Boyd as well.
You are.
So that's going to be.
You're basically. If you don't get double his points, I will be shocked.
Well,
Craig's already writing his victory speech.
He's got
Allen. He's working, but he's writing his victory speech.
He's got Joe Allen. He's got Hollywood Brown might be okay. You don't know who Colt McCoy is going to be thrown to. He's got Kittle still. He's got Dotson, who's good for some points.
And he's going to get pumped. He's going to get pumped, and that is your reward for losing to me. I mean, it's just no right.
I think my reward for losing to you is losing the division.
On the bright side, Doug, if he wins that game, he's probably going to play Chris. So that's
I know, and that was the other thing. But to be perfectly honest, blinking the factory's looking as strong as Chris is.
Can I just say, by the way, can I just get it put out there, Sean? They're the ones that are being disparaging against you. I am saying you've got every chance this week. Don't be coming at me, okay? This is on them, not me. I think you've got every chance. Thank you.
Sean,
what you said before
you can tell by Craig's demeanour, Craig's demeanour is, I'm going to pump you, Sean, is what that demeanour is. And he knows it. Look at him. He's cheesing. He's absolutely cheesing.
I'm laughing at you as well.
You should be wearing the cheese head, like.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll be disappointed if I lose the game. There
we go. He spent all of last week's podcast worrying about who he might play, apart from you, Sean, because he thinks he's going to gub you.
Well, I mean, I should probably. But this is playoffs. This is playoffs. This is fantasy, and this is me. We're all talking about here. So the most me thing to do is go and get pumped off Eskimo Brothers in the first round of the playoffs. But we'll see what happens.
Well, that's true. That would be quite funny.
And Michael's off into the consolation away to chase after. Now, he has went into the play. He's lost in the first round of the playoffs, number 1 seed 3 years in a row. He's now. Do you think now he can win a playoff game? Now it's consolations. There would be a little bit of irony, I would say.
I would say there's a good chance. I would say, well, I mean, he's got Grote, so everyone basically pumps Grote.
Well, ain't that the truth?
I wouldn't.
he's actually not got a terrible team as well. I know James Cook had a bad game last week, 1.5, but he has been pulling in some points. He's been pulling in some points. And
Buffalo could be a snow game, but he's got McKinnon, who's on fire for the Chiefs. Connor's knocking them in for the Cardinals, and there's no Kyler, so they're going to go to Connor even more. Chris Godwin's doing away. Thielen's capable of getting plenty of points on the Robinson's doing fine at the Commanders. He's got a couple of selection issues there.
Yeah, and he plays Grote, so.
And he plays Grote. Everyone pumps.
But he has came in number 1 seed against number 8 seed so often, and it's not quite worked. But I do fancy Michael to get a win this in the playoffs.
He should beat Grote by 20 or 30
for the first time in 4 years.
If the consolation counts as playoffs.
Not that I want to rub it in or anything, but but bring on Sean. We'll see what happens. So that's how the league's finished then. That's the end of the 2022 regular season for Show Me the Money. It was different this year. Most other years have been, it's been very close and it's been a rush to the playoffs and there's been so many teams involved at the end. This year, you've seen the split in the league this year with people that kind of lowered down when they started not doing well, going for the picks next year. You can see a change in the tactics.
Yeah, no, completely. And I think the league will probably become more and more like that. Ultimately this year, well, we've not obviously seen who goes and wins, but Sean's gone after it. Chris has gone after it. You've gone after it a little bit. I've gone after it. We're all in the playoffs, so it's kind of, it's worked in terms of getting us to the playoffs. Anything can happen now, but I think that's going to become more and more the case. Kick the can down the road, fold in some picks, get the superstar roster and try and make it your year. It's whether it'll be a completely different set of people do it next year or not. Will Graham actually, show up here and go for it, or that sort of stuff?
I think that'll very much depend on who wins this year.
Indeed,
if one person wins this year, I think he's putting the whole I think he's putting the house on next year. We shall see. But congratulations to Doug, Chris, Joe and Sean, who took out the division champions for 2022. Well done. You don't get a ring for that or anything, but very much.
It's okay. I've already got one here, Craig.
You get the bragging rights. That's fine. and off into the playoffs. And let's have a wee look at the playoff brackets again, Johnny. So we have. So we've talked about Dougie Boy playing Kirkwall a little bit, but Doug playing. Who are you playing again? Factory. Proper toss up. We went. It's one of those ones. It's whoever plays best on the day is going to get it. It wouldn't be a surprise if either one. And it's but then Tartan Bears and Farts Fly. It's almost
that'll be a toss up. That one.
Yeah. So what have we got the total?
You got another prediction with Doug. It's 100 points and it leaves.
Yeah, so it's within 4 points in the predictions. Not that they matter to anything, but so in all honesty, Doug,
I think you're projected to win by 20, Craig. So.
How much do you think? How many do you think will change much throughout the week, or are you pretty set in stone?
No, I think I'm going to be forced to go with it as it is. To be honest, Ramondre Stevenson's injuries pretty much screwed the thing over. I can't risk Lazard. Whoa. I can't really risk. Jameson Williams could make me look stupid, but I can't drop Waddle for him, and Peoples-Jones is in form.
Yeah.
I'm praying for a big night for the Chiefs, ultimately.
You don't want them to absolutely destroy them, is the thing, because Mahomes might not see the second half if they're miles ahead.
Well, that's what was a bit of a concern last week, but then he did, and and
they kept on getting them the ball back. So.
The difficult thing will be for him, Pacheco, and Kelsey all to get big points.
Yeah,
that's maybe the difficult thing. But you never know.
Well, you get Pacheco to run the ball down the field and toss the ball to Kelsey in the end zone.
AJ Brown, he's obviously capable of ripping up a big one.
Absolutely.
We'll see. We'll see. I think Sean's genuinely slight favourite, but either of us could win.
Well, here's the thing. See, to be honest with you, do you know what I think? Sean he's more pretty much stable in what your cap's a lot higher. Your ceiling's a lot higher. You've got guys who could really bust it out. Whereas Sean's going to get, he's going to get his points. He's going to get his points. The problem you've got is there's guys that you might not,
Henry's got a decent matchup against the Chargers. Aaron Jones got a decent matchup against the Rams. Lamb's got a decent matchup at the Jags. Chase is Chase.
Chase is a bit harder.
He's capable. The Niners threw all over the Bucs, so Blinken, Joe Burrow can, that's for sure. If Brock Purdy can, Joe Burrow can. And then you're down in dregs after that. Big Travis, if Big Travis can get 15 more points than Freiermuth, that sort of idea, that's where I can maybe get some joy.
I'll be very
surprised. But you got to see how Field does on against the Eagles.
The thing about Fields,
the Eagles could knock Fields out. Yeah, but he might get clobbered at the start and that'd be him out. Which is still question.
Possibly. The one thing you can't, you could run on the Eagles a few weeks ago. You can't run on the Eagles anymore. They've got Dominic Sue and Jordan Davis is back. They've shored that up big style. So, he might not be able to use his legs as much.
Yeah, but there's running on that's running with a running back, when the
that's true.
And it's a different kettle of fish.
Well, potentially you could be running the other way for his life. For that defensive line.
Yeah, let's hope so. And Henry can go down injured. Henry can pop a hamstring and things like that.
Anyone can go down injured, can't they? I'll be surprised.
Enough about my game.
On Monday there, that's mental.
So then we have
probably the closest predicted game of the week. 1 point.
So the winner of this game, the winner of Doug's game will play the winner of this game, which is Tartan Bears and Farts Flying Eagles. You've got to think it's another tight one. It's another could go either way. What decisions are there to be made? It's one. I don't even think there's many decisions to be made from either of these two. I think that the team that they've got in right now is the team that they're going to play. Surely, I mean, you could see.
Well, not necessarily. He might play Higgins. I don't think he'll play Goddard the first week back, but he should probably play the week after. Maybe
I don't even think Goddard's back this week though. Is he been? But
he's off IR. So
he's maybe got a decision at quarterback to make as well, and he has got a decision on. Higgins. But who are you going to put him in instead of Mostert? In a snow game where he's going to get a lot of touches.
Yeah, tricky.
Kirk, maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't be drawing. I know he's playing Dallas, but Christian Kirk gets 18, 19, 20 points every week.
Well, in PPR it does.
Well, yeah, that's true actually. Well, yeah, fair enough, Johnny. Good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't see Joe making any changes. Joe's team is Joe's team. That's it.
Yeah, I think.
And then we have the Bluetoon Patriots and the Kirkwall Raiders. And again, played this week. I think the Tartan Bears and Farts Flying Eagles one you can easily see turning round. This one, realistically, it's tough to see it turning round.
Very.
Yeah.
Chris is about 6 to 1 on
the match for a couple of weeks. I mean, he might come out.
Look, he's 11-point favourite, but I think it's more than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so do I.
And the thing about these ones as well is, I mean, it's almost guaranteed points for Chris, you know. Cook, Hutts, Jefferson, Taylor. They're kind of guaranteed points, you know.
The other one you might not commit. He's had a couple of good weeks, but sometimes he just completely stinks.
Well, I mean, that's
will have a good game. He's got the Cowboys win against Jacksonville.
I mean, Allen's going to be hanging his hat on the likes of Komet totally busting out, and, you know, Metcalf not doing a whole lot tonight, and, you know, maybe Kirk Cousins going to feeling a wee bit more and Hankerson a little bit more, and, you know, leaving Jefferson alone. And I mean,
can't see
at the end of the day, you have to think Allen has to top the ton. If Allen tops the ton, he's got a chance.
Yes.
Yeah, but will he?
You would say so.
Well, therein lies the big question. And finally, the big one. What is it? 18-point favourite?
It's going to be the biggest pumping of the week.
No pressure, Craig.
No pressure.
I mean, you've got some decisions to make, but it doesn't matter which way you go. You're going to pump them.
Well, I've got some decisions to make. You're right, and it's and I can't look at it like that. And that might not be the case, you know. It's he's got players that can go off.
Well, he might have a good game with Ridder.
Well, I tell you what's going to happen this week. Mike Evans is going to have his big week.
Well, don't honestly. He might go back in yet. He might go back in yet. I feel like I've paid for him. I need to play him. But
so the only thing I'll say, Craig, genuinely, I'm not. This is a serious point. The Bengals secondary are small compared to Evans. He will tower over them. I think Brady throws it this week to Evans. Evans is needing the yards to get to his 1,000 yards as well. And damn right, he will want to keep that record going.
Yeah, I mean, probably. Absolutely. He'll want to keep the record going. Ironically, I called it that he wouldn't this year right at the start of the season.
You did.
Then I go and splaff out a 6th rounder for him. It's like, what are you doing, you idiot?
Well, that was panic mode, that one, right?
I don't know who you drop him for though.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
for him.
That's a problem.
It's going to be Watson. If I put him back in, it'll be Watson.
Can he drop Watson?
And to watch me. I know
he can't keep that form going. It's going to.
Why not?
He can't keep doing pucks. Yeah, well, the Rams D's actually been okay. It's the Rams O that's the problem. The D's been okay.
Yeah, but they're injured. They're beaten up unless they stick Jalen Ramsey on them just to prove a point. But I don't know.
To be honest with you, it's not even Evans I'm looking at.
Keenan Allen or Saquon.
It's Olav on the bench as well.
Michael Lavi might have a good game. Olav, yeah.
Yeah, the Atlanta secondary is crap.
Exactly.
Well.
And he's sitting on my bench. Najee's up against Carolina. I mean,
I'm not a Giants fan, but I'm not sure about playing Barkley this week.
Yeah, neither am I.
Barkley's still got neck issues. I'm not sure if he's.
I thought he had the Commanders last weekend. I've got that mixed up. But yeah, the Commanders, you don't run on them too easily, do you? I don't think.
But it's Barkley.
He had a not bad game in the last one, but.
Najee.
Yeah, it is Barkley.
Najee's starting to score.
Yeah, I know. It's
Carolina's run defense isn't too bad.
You're loaded, Craig, actually. You're loaded.
And Njoku as well. I've got Njoku on the bench. I mean, but I can't put him in over Schultz. Sorry, I can't put him in over Schultz. He's playing the bloody Jaguars.
Yeah, I know, but
anyway.
You're going to win. So
I have decisions to make, and that's not necessarily the starting team as it sits right now. That's
yeah. You could.
So how many times are you going to change your lineup, Craig? How many times are you going to change your lineup in the next week?
I'll leave it sitting there now. That'll be how it sits until kind of Sunday morning, and then I'll probably change it about 8 times before the game kicks off.
See, the problem Sean has got is Joe Allen might be a snow game, so Pirine needs Mixon to get injured. Gibson's sharing the role with Robinson. Gibson's his ceiling's not that great. Hollywood Brown and DeAndre Hopkins, you're not going to get both of them going off against that Denver D with Colt McCoy at quarterback. Jahan Dotson, yeah, you might get 10 points out of him. You're not really going to get much more than that. Kittle
He did nothing apart from that touchdown catch.
Yeah, and that's
last
what he's
game
been
they
doing
played.
all season. Dotson next season will be a
Yeah.
different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
George Kittle, it's in Seattle. Kittle will spend half his time blocking for McCaffrey and whatnot. So Sean's ceiling is he's going to do really, really, really well to get to 100 points, whereas you really should get 100 points with that lot.
Absolutely. And I dare say that there will be a combination of my team that would get me to 100 points. That
Just got to get the right one.
Is, will that be the starting combination?
I know, but I think even your Broncos defense, they've got Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're looking well strong, and you've got a bloody good chance against Chris as well. You really do.
It's why I went and picked up the Broncos defense, because I said, the Arizona with Colt McCoy, I thought, well, I'll have a bit of that. They don't concede points.
No, totally. And they've got the Rams next week.
Apart from last week.
Your problem is if you get to the bowl, they've got the Chiefs. So
yeah, but I'll just swap them out as a thing,
Yeah, fair enough.
It's there to be done.
What did they score last week?
Who, the Broncos?
What did the Broncos score last week against the Chiefs? Because they got 3 interceptions.
I didn't have them last week.
They only got 7 points. Because the Chiefs still scored 30-odd points, so it kind of checked them back a wee bit.
Yeah, I didn't have them last week. I had the Bucks last week. I've brought them in this week. And a wee sly one, trying to get the wee upper hand.
Yeah.
But into the toilets, and we've got the Madhouse G-Men against Hide and Zeke. I mean, we call it a toilet bowl, but this could set you up for next season.
It can, and Johnny is favourite unpredicted scores.
Yep.
Somehow.
James.
I know he's got.
Well, it depends if my bloody players play this week.
Deshaun Watson.
I did pick up this boy here though. So.
Which boy? Oh, Hodgins.
It is against the Baltimore defense, so no.
You've been coming good of late though, Johnny. You have been coming good of late. You've been winning games, and you've got Murray.
No, to be fair, he just scored 34 points, Craig.
Yeah, I got Murray, got Harris.
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah.
But I mean,
then I lost. I did lose 3 of my players just before kickoff. I got decimated before the game's even kicked off last week, so it's a bit fucked with that.
Yeah.
Get your violin out, Craig.
My bench actually scored more than the starter, so. No, Craig, stop playing with yourself.
I'm playing your violin, pal.
But Johnson.
No, but all of a sudden, you maybe have Harris starting back for the Patriots. He practiced yesterday.
But like I said, but that's why I picked up Pierre Strong. So if he doesn't play, then I've got Strong. So
you've got Lockett, decent. Deontay Johnson's coming up in the rails a wee bit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can beat Graham. You just need to get your predicted point score, and you should beat Graham because 83 is about out of his range, I think.
Graham's biggest problem is Elliott, Eckler, Williams, and then nothing.
Well, Pickens.
Well, White's going to be a shootout against Detroit. Pickens.
Mike White, Mike White was folded like a table. His ribs.
I can't believe he's playing this week, to be honest, because he was. I don't know how he's still walking after last week. That mean anything else.
But the Jets will need to throw because the Detroit Lions stop the run. They're really good at that, so they'll need to throw.
If White's fat, he's got a good shout.
White will want to play. He's playing for his future. He will big time want to play.
But I mean, Pickens.
Well, he has to. He's not got another quarterback. So
yeah. Anyway, anything could happen in that match. To be fair, that looks like an 80-point slugfest.
proper 50-50.
Well,
Yeah.
it's probably more like a 76 to 69 point slugfest more than anything else, if I'm lucky.
And what we
The
got
next
next?
one up
Batman's Boobies and the Boys.
The Boys.
Batman's Boobies and Boys. Well, I mean, you
That's
know,
another close
talking
one.
about this game this time last week, I'd have been saying boys are back in town or a shoe in, but 139 points makes me think otherwise now. Ray's
Yeah, but
coming
you
good.
had Goff and McCaffrey. So the last time Ray did that with Goff, he got like 30 points the next 40 points the next week because Goff did bugger all. And he is playing against the Jets defense, and they are a good defense.
They are.
Yeah,
No, they are absolutely.
They're a solid defense.
But McCaffrey should kick off.
Well, McCaffrey should go off. It depends. It depends how much Kyle wants to play him if we get well in front. I was surprised how much he played him on Sunday night after they were well up. But Purdy's going to play, but his ribs or his oblique or whatever it is isn't perfect. So you're going to see a lot of CMC. And I mean, he has been magnificent since he came to the Niners. So, you should get a decent score out of him.
It was magnificent before then.
Akers is now running back.
Yeah,
he was. Akers. You can run in it. You can run in the Packers.
If Akers gets 15 touches, he'll get 100 yards. The Packers are terrible at defending the run. Cannot stop the run. Then,
on the downside of that, he's also got the Packers defense, which is not going to help him.
Yeah, but Akers is pretty inefficient. I don't think he'll get 100 yards, Craig. He's not done it all season. I don't know if he starts now. It's in Green Bay as well.
70 yards.
If he gets 15 I mean, it'll depend on the weather, obviously, as well. But
he could get enough of a score to cover off Singletary, for example, because Singletary's not doing a lot in Buffalo the last few weeks.
Absolutely. And Swift's done nothing in Detroit either. I mean, the Swift's just
and he's up against New York Jets.
He's like Mike Evans. You drop Swift and he scores, and you play him and he doesn't. He's just like that.
Anyway.
And then Boobies is not. He's got DJ Moore, but it's hard to play DJ Moore at the minute.
I mean, it's been hard for Ross. Ross has lost Cup to IR. I'm sure he's lost more than what he's got there on IR to IR. It's been a tough old season for him, but he's still hanging on in there. And this is a 50-50.
I'd be playing DJ Moore over Corey Davis though, all the same.
Yeah, probably. Although they are playing the Pittsburgh D, and they're not. It doesn't. They seem to be. Sam Darnold doesn't seem to like DJ Moore. And what did they get last week? What, one catch for 20 yards or something?
That's true.
And they won that game.
That's true.
I can see reason to mention him. And it is Detroit.
But then
Ross has not got a lot of receiver there, really. Samuel, Claypool, Robert Woods, they're not. I mean, I love Robert Woods.
Samuel might have a good game against the Giants, but
Johnny says everyone will have a good game against the Giants.
Yeah, totally.
Don't worry about it.
I know that, but that's because the Giants are crap. But I mean, you would want the Giants in the playoffs, wouldn't you?
Prescott should go up against the Jags as well. They're there for the day.
Yeah, I give Boobies the edge here. I give Boobies the edge.
Yeah, I give Boobies a slight edge, but it's a slight edge.
Because of that man there, actually.
I think
Goff has been playing well, but he is playing against a hard defense. But
Goff plays well against the hard D's as well, though.
He gets touches.
I think Juju
Hawkins
as well should do well.
But yeah, slight edge to Boobies for me there.
Yeah.
And then next up, we've got the Cope and Badley Jets against Scheme Team. Allen 4-10, but he's snuck out. He's been sneaking along.
He's been done over with Kyler Murray doing his ACL.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
He's got there's a deficit there at quarterback. Montgomery versus Foreman. You probably take Foreman because you're not running in the Eagles easily. Carter versus Robinson. You take Carter, but only just. I mean, Robinson won't play.
Yeah, because
Robinson won't play.
So Carter, but you've got Diggs. You definitely take Diggs over Zay Jones. You take Judy over MVS. Hunter Henry, Tyler Higbee's just dog dirt, and Paris Campbell against Mac Hollins could go either way. Kickers the same, defense the same. So you've got to say it's scheme teams.
Well,
It's
you'd imagine
the worry is pigs in a snow game.
Yeah,
you still get the scratches, though.
I would agree. It's still, and it's in Buffalo. The Bills are used to the weather. Diggs is used to that, etc. I think scheme teams should take this, and I don't think there's nothing Mark can do from his bench.
I don't know if I'd say this, but I thought Kirk Cousins might be playing ahead of Lawrence this week.
Well, he was very lucky to get Kirk Cousins in that trade. So yeah, I would be playing Cousins as well. Good quarterback.
Yeah, I'd play Cousins.
He might still play Cousins.
Having said that, Lawrence is certainly in PPR. I think Lawrence is something like quarterback 8 this season now.
Yeah, the problem with Lawrence is they're playing Dallas.
I know, but it could be a bit of a shoot. Might be a bit of a shootout.
But he got hurt. So he's going. Yeah, but he might get knocked out. That's a problem.
Everyone's a wee bit hurt this time of year, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm leaning heavily to Allen in that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so am I.
And finally, we've got the last one we've got is Le'Veon in a Prayer versus Varsity Blues sing Change My Life. So I think
we've done that.
So before I go further down, what do you think the projection is going to be? How much points?
I would say it's going to be 20 points to Michael.
22.
Well done, 22.
22, Jings. It's I mean, looking at this one, it's I don't see how Grote, but Grote's after next year. He's kicked it down the can. He just wants this season over with.
It has been a miserable year for him.
I just don't see how he does anything in this game. When you've
got
two,
Michael's got Geno Smith tonight. And the last time Geno Smith played against the 49ers, I think they ended up with 7 points, and it wasn't an offensive score. So he could have a hard game. I know it's in Seattle, but
yeah, but if you go through against player, Geno, Ryan Tannehill, Geno should maybe do that with his form.
You should.
McKinnon should blast Edwards away. James Conner will blast Algier, or however you pronounce it, away. Thielen will blast Van Jefferson away. Godwin should still beat Drake London.
Easily.
Knox and Johnson 50-50. Robinson should beat Pierce, and then the D and the kicker could be anything. So again, it's Le'Veon all the way.
It really is. I mean, it's what does Grote really need to have happen? He really needs a lot of players to kick off. There's no guaranteed points in his team. You know, there's no one that you look at and say, "Yep, he'll get 15 points, no bother." And that's
his
problem.
bench is minging. His bench is minging. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I would say Michael's got a good. I'd say Michael's got a good shot.
I wouldn't be surprised if Geno ended up with about 6 points tomorrow morning.
No,
it is that. It is the Niners.
And
if that happens, it shouldn't matter. But that would make it a lot more squeaky bum time if he ended up with 9 points.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it would. But Tannehill's only going to get you so many. Tannehill's not going to come out and
but he likes to run. He likes to run in the goal line. So you never know.
I mean, I'll certainly make it a more interesting weekend.
I wouldn't be completely surprised. It's not going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was closer than 20 points.
I'm going to say no chance, Grote.
Yeah, me too. Sorry.
Sorry, Stephen, I'm trying to stick up for you, but these boys are just been a bunch of pricks.
No, we're just realistic.
Yeah,
we're just realistic about
it. Calling it how we see it, Johnny. Calling it how we see it, lad.
Grote's rubbish. We're just saying it as it is.
It's but yeah, good luck to everyone in the playoffs this week. Everyone's going for different things, but everyone's got something to play for this week. And everyone bar Sean, that is. Sorry, Sean, hope you get pumped.
Yeah, I hope you get pumped as well, the other Sean.
Yeah, but yeah, both Sean's right enough.
Yeah, no, let's hope the factory's closed firmly.
Well, soon we'll find out, and Sunday night will be. Is there Saturday games this week?
Yes, there's 3 Saturday games.
Is
Yeah,
a feast on Saturday?
there's 3 games on Saturday.
And I see that
there's the Bills in Miami are 1:15 on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You've got there's a game on at 6 o'clock and a game on at 9:30. I can't off the top of my head mind know what they are. Are the Ravens playing on Saturday maybe?
That sounds plausible because I was looking through my teams and couldn't find anyone on my Saturday game. So it sounds plausible that the Ravens are one of them.
Yeah, it'll make
Ravens against the Browns at 9:30. You've got Indianapolis against the Vikings at 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Right, excellent. So 3 Saturday games and then into Sunday. So it's a nice long weekend for all these playoff games. Keep everyone up. Looking forward to it, I've got to say.
Yes, well, I'll be watching the game tonight. You'll be asleep before it finishes. So
I will be asleep.
Yeah, I'm intending trying to catch it, I think.
Well, yeah.
Get a bit more.
I think Gary's staying up as well.
Big cock Brock.
Yeah. Excellent. Well,
I know, but thanks for coming on, guys. And we'll have a playoff one next week. I do have to say, if anybody's listening, it would be good to get the semi-finalists on at some point next week, even if it's not live,
available.
Just have a chat.
Yeah, I'm
like
available.
I can do a studio one, just having a chat, even separately, so you can't stop bickering at each other, and then I can try and edit all together and have a good laugh. Like, so.
I'm sure Sean will be. I'm sure Sean will love to be in it. Sean Fleming, that is Sean F.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait to see how it happens, but good luck, guys.
Good luck, everyone. See you next week.
I'll maybe bring both the rings on next week for you, Craig.
Well, I'll be hopefully one step closer to getting one.
Oh, you should do.
You should do. You will be. Bye.
Right. Bye.
Cheers.